Hi everyone, my name's Anne-Marie. Welcome to this card making project. Today we're going to make a gorgeous card using lots of Anna Griffin goodies. Everything I do use I shall put in a detailed list on my blog, so in case I forget anything or there's something I didn't mention, just check my blog to see if it's there. You can always comment on my blog and on Facebook if you want to reply. You can also comment on YouTube, but I can't reply on YouTube. There's a glitch on my account. So even if you sent a question 6 months ago, I can't answer you because my reply will disappear. So ask again on my blog or on Facebook. So that's housekeeping over with. And somebody's asked me why I say that. It's so I remember that I've actually said, you know, you can comment here and you can comment there and do this and do that and everything's listed there. So once I say that, I know that I've said everything. So, and then I don't have to like go through everything again and bore you silly. Okay, so the card base that we're going to use is a 7x7" card. However, you can do this technique with other sizes, it will still work. I've used one of Anna's long edging dies to cut this shape. And the die that I used is in the same kit that's got all the embossing folders. There were the 12" die and embossing folder set. So I've used the scallop shape just to die cut the edge of the card for something a little bit different. So I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure I've got that nice sharp crease along the edge of my card so it stands up nicely. And we're going to do the inside first, as always. So for the inside, very, very simple. I've got a piece of the Rose Designer collection from Anna, and I've just cut it to fit the inside of the card. And you can see my trusty arrow, so I know which way is up. Because, you know, when you cut something to fit, and you have to make it fit, and then you need to know which way around it was. That's why I had my little arrow, so I know that this section goes to this edge and should fit perfectly, she says. There we go. Try and get it nice and straight. And it's not, but don't worry about that, you can't see that edge. So I might have to trim that because obviously it's all about the edge. So what I'm going to do is, for the rest of the inside, I've got a few things that I've already cut. So I've got a piece of the script paper that's in the Rose Designer collection, my favourite collection, and I'm just going to add this through towards the fold of the card, and just going to take it all the way up like that, something a bit different. I think we'll trim our edges. I've also got a gorgeous sentiment from the chalkboard stamps that I'm just going to position, I'd say roughly about there, through the centre. And then I've got a gorgeous, I'm going to say peony, please don't shout at me if I'm wrong, that I've taken through the Xyron machine. I think we'll have it at the top. Shall we have it at the top today? Yes, why not? And now I'm just going to trim that edge because I'm pedantic and I don't know why it didn't sit right. So we'll just straighten that up. And that little bit as well, because I'm just like you, because you might think, oh, I don't like that bit, let's cut that bit off, and that just proves it. So there we go, all nice and straight again now. So now we can go to the front of our card because we've finished our inside. We don't have a pale colour to write on this time because I thought it would just be fun to have the full colour. So if you're using a dark black pen, if you're using a dark pen or a black pen, you should be able to see it. If you want to write a lot or you don't have a dark pen, just add a piece of, you know, cream or something, a cream panel below that. So now we can go to the front. So I've cut a piece of the script paper from the Rose collection to fit where we've got the actual pattern along the edge. And I'm hoping that I might just be able to get this straight to stick it on so it matches with the pattern underneath. I've slightly inked the edges. You saw me remove the back of the flat tape, and now I'm simply going to add it over the top of the pattern so that it matches. There we go. And that is the front of our card. So, well, it's not finished obviously, but you can see how that covers over nicely. Next, I've got a piece of the Rose Designer collection, the lattice paper. I've got flat tape on it. Now, I know before when I've used the Rose Designer, somebody's asked me, does it matter whether I use the paper or the card? No, not really. If you're using the card, you would normally use the card for the back layers, or if you're creating something more 3D, because there's obviously more weight to it. If you paper folding, you would tend to use the paper rather than the card, but you can use either. You know, don't be thinking, oh, I can't use that, I need to save that for that, because you can use either. Some people don't like using 3D methods or making rosettes, things like that. So just use the card for your layers and use the paper for the insides. But you can use it for whatever you like. Once you bought it, it's yours. So that's my rose lattice layer that I'm adding just through the centre like that. And that again was on flat tape. Now I've cut out 2 of the swirls from Anna's swirl die. Now this was a die from a long time ago, and I'm just going to use liquid glue. So I'm going to use Glossy Accents, the glue of my choice still, and I'm just going to add it in a couple of places on the back well, that you can't see. And then I'm going to position one to one side, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one, like this, bit of Glossy Accents for it to stick. I don't need it to stick perfectly all the way down because there's other things going on that we're going to stick as well. So, and then the opposite way around, I'm going to add the other swirl like that, so they cross over in the centre. Just press them down a little bit so they start sticking in the places that we have got glue. Next, I'm going to add my sentiment next, because then I can position our flowers around it. So I've cut out a base from Anna's sentiment stamp set, again in the rose paper. I've got double-sided tape on the back of it, and this is going to simply stick over the swirl. I'm adding liquid glue only because it's going on an uneven surface. So I'm going to add that through the centre of the swirls. Okay, press it down. And then my sentiment is a chalkboard stamp, because you know I love those stamps. Just for you on your special day. And I've got 3D foam on the back. So I'm just going to simply add that through the centre of the shape below. And the shape below makes a perfect layer for your sentiments. Now we can add some flowers. So I've taken the flowers from Anna's favourite flower collection, and I've got 4 of them. So I've trimmed the edge off one of them because it just had a stalk on the bottom. So I've just trimmed that off a little bit. But then I've got 2 that have still got the stalks on. Now, because the stickers, you can just simply peel the back of them away. And I'm just going to place it at the side of our sentiment. At this stage, if you wanted to add a little bit more, a little bit of wet glue on the back, you could do if you have trouble with your stickers sticking. But it's quite a cool day here for me, so I don't think I'll have much trouble. So I'm going to stick the second one in, hiding the stalk behind the sentiment and pressing it down. And then I've got the one that I've taken the stalk away. I'm just going to add that to that side. And then a double one of the, I'm saying peonies, they're not peonies, are they? They're like a poppy, but they're not a poppy. Give up, Anne-Marie. So I'm going to add the last set of flowers to one side there. And then I'm going to finish the card off with a little gold bow that's going to sit just on the sentiment instead of just below it. That had double-sided 3D foam on. And that's our card finished. Oh, look how crooked that is. If I hadn't pointed it out, you wouldn't have known, but I've seen it. Oh, that's terrible. You wouldn't have thought I'd made 400 odd projects before, would you? So it stands up nicely. The inside is so pretty. Plain, but, well, not plain, but plain for us, but pretty. Matches the outside perfectly with my uneven edges. If I do that, you can't tell. Stands up nicely. Wouldn't need any extra packaging because we've only actually got one layer from our flowers and our sentiment. But it just all goes together, and that edge gives it something different and just looks so pretty. Apart from a crooked layer. So, you know what, it just goes to show that you can use so many of Anna's products together. The swirl dies from a few years ago with paper collections and then the favourite flower stickers, and it just all works so perfectly. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you, you know, an idea of how to use things and put things together and maybe what not to do. You know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? We all love crafting, and nobody's going to hand that back to me and say, Anne-Marie, can't you cut in a straight line? And I'm not going to go, oh, don't you want it, don't you like it? So anyway, but it just shows I'm not perfect, which I ain't. Good old-fashioned Yorkshire saying there, I ain't. I love how you comment on my videos. I love how you enjoy watching them. And I'm made up when people say, oh, I've kept a few to watch all together. That's just like, wow, thank you. I watch box sets, but I don't watch box sets of me. And it just like, it makes my heart swell. So thank you so much. I just hope it gives you good ideas and, you know, reasons to use what you've got in your stash. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.